So this was a question for Katie, talking about buttonholes, knitted buttonholes. Katie very kindly told me that she's left-handed, and although I taught myself to do up shoelaces left-handed for my son, I didn't think I would be able to learn how to knit left-handed in a week. So I did some research to see if I could find a site that had good resources and videos for left-handed knitters, and I haven't been able to find any. So if any of you that are left-handed have found a good resource to turn to for help, then please let me know and I can share that with Katie on the page as well. What I did find was, though I've been knitting for more years than I care to remember, and I have my own favourite ways of doing buttonholes, there are lots of other ways out there. So I'll show you the ways that I'm comfortable with. You may have a different way, and that isn't wrong. It's just that we all have our own techniques that we've developed over the years, or that we were taught by our parents or whoever taught us to knit. I will say, however, there are some points that I learnt that I may put into practice, and I'll show you one of those for this. So what I've done, normally you would do your buttonholes, it usually comes in the ribbon. Sometimes you might need to do it on stocking stitch, so I'm showing it in stocking stitch because you'll be able to see it easier what I'm doing. So let's just get you down so you can see the knitting. Right, mostly our buttonholes are done in the rib. Sometimes you can do it on stocking stitch. I'm going to show you on stocking stitch because it'll be easier to see, and I'm hoping with the dark yarn and the white background you'll be able to see. So the easiest way of doing buttonholes is usually eyelet, and your pattern will usually tell you either you knit two together or yarn forward knit together. Get the same result, so yarn forward, knit together, and then you'll carry on to the end until you need to place your next buttonhole. So then when you return, you've still got the same number of stitches on your needle, including the yarn over thread. So when you come back across, you just knit the yarn over stitch as normal, and you're left with your eyelet buttonhole. That's perfect for smaller buttons. For larger garments and for large buttons you need to cast off stitches, so this is the way that I've always done it. So I knit one, so I'm going to cast off, let's say 1, 2, big button 3, and then I'd carry on knitting to the end of the row. And you turn round, you get to where you've cast off 3, and obviously you need to add those back in. So what I tend to do is just use it by wrapping it around my thumb and sliding on 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then bring that up and I'll purl to the end. Then obviously on the next row you're going to be knitting straight across, or it could be a knit and purl if you're doing a ribbon. So just hold it loosely, go in 1, 2, 3, and then you knit to the end. The reason I've always done it that way is that it gives the buttonhole movement and it stops that from being too tight to get your buttonhole through. So ones that I saw yesterday is that they actually cast on, don't do the extra row, they just cast on those 3 stitches as soon as they cast off. So that would be right as well. So that's how my buttonhole would look, you can see against the card there. So that's the right side and that's the reverse side. Now if for any reason you're not happy with the finish of your buttonhole, now on some yarns it just doesn't seem to sit right, what I do then is when I've finished I get a needle and thread and do a buttonhole stitch around, and it just neatens off those buttonholes and gives a strengthened edge to it. So Kate, if your problem that you were saying about having a lump on there, maybe that would be the way to neaten it up, to finish it with a buttonhole stitch afterwards. Drop me a line afterwards or a comment, and if you'd like me to show you how I do that, let me know.